The good, the bad, and the odd. It's a thing.
Welcome to this episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Odd. We host Mark and Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hey.
Right, okay, today we're doing a TV series. We're doing Star Wars Rebels Season 3. So we've gone through the first two, and we're hitting the third one. Right, okay, so it feels a bit more of a step up from the first two series. It feels more serious. What do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely, well, after the whole Twilight of the Apprentice stuff, where Kanan's blinded, Ahsoka is presumed dead, Vader's basically trashed them completely.
Yeah.
And Maul's now running around. You're kind of at your lowest point.
Yeah, I mean, it was... Season 1 was kind of more kiddie-friendly, wasn't it? And it was kind of lightweight, but it got way more serious towards the end of Season 2. And Season 3 kind of continues that, though it rebalances a bit. It's not quite as serious as the last few episodes of Season 2 for a lot of it, but it does get fairly intense. Anyway, let's kind of go through them episode by episode, but not be too constrained. How about that? Does that sound all right?
Mm.
Now, this, I think this is 22 or 20? Hold on, I'm just checking. 22.
Yeah, 22 episodes.
And some of them are basically two-parters. And when it first aired, it was as a longer version, which they cut into two parts. It was called Steps into Shadow, now available in parts 1 and 2. On Disney, we've been watching us on Disney+, so it's on there. First aired September the 24th, 2016. And it's set quite a bit after the end of the Season 2 episode, right? The closing episode.
Yeah, it's 6 months.
6 months. To recap, we've got blinded Kanan and we've got Ezra, who seems to be being a bit drawn to the dark side. That's how it kind of begins.
They found in the last episode, Twilight of the Apprentice, they found a Sith holocron. And they, the last shot of the episode was Ezra being able to open the holocron, which you can only do if you've got the dark side.
Yeah, so that's kind of dark. But it's a prison rescue, this one, isn't it? They are rescuing Hondo from the prison. Ezra's got a lightsaber, and he's
got a new lightsaber.
Yes, a new lightsaber. And he's using the Force quite powerfully throughout. And we find out that he's been... something in the holocron's been teaching him, he's been getting power from the holocron, so it's the dark side. Now, Hondo, one of the reasons they're rescuing him, he's got intel about this squadron of Y-Wings at a shipyard due to be destroyed, and they want to try and recover them. That's one of the reasons for the rescue. Kind of goes a bit wrong. They're rescuing him and a friend of his, but the friend kind of goes it alone during the middle of the rescue and kind of falls down into a darkness we never see again. Is that right? I'm trying to remember.
Well, yeah, he gets shot by an AT-ST, so...
And flies through the air and disappears, right?
Well, he gets dropped off a cliff, so...
Dropped off a cliff, yeah. So, we don't... No sign of Kanan in this. Is Ezra... Is it Ezra, Zeb, Hera?
Ezra, Zeb, and Sabine. Hera's, flying the ship out of range of everyone, so...
Yeah, so Sabine. So those three are kind of doing this rescue. They managed to get him. Meanwhile, Kanan's kind of moping about. He's struggling with his blindness.
As you would.
Yeah, and he also finds out Ezra's been using the holocron, and that's causing quite a bit of tension between the two of them. And then he goes out onto the into the wilds of the planet.
A pull from the Force.
Yeah,
out to...
They're on a planet, aren't they? It's Attilan.
Yeah, Attilan. So.
Attilan. And it turns out the call is from this creature called the Bendu, who is played by Tom Baker. Great voice work by Tom Baker, because it's Tom Baker's voice, right? So it's always going to be great. And it's kind of a weird Force monster that's kind of gigantic or big, kind of ape.
He's this gorilla moose thingy.
It's like a gorilla with all these weird antlers growing out of all parts of his body, kind of thing.
Yeah.
With antlery growth things. It turns out this Bendu is a Force master, but he's not light or dark.
He says he's the one in the middle.
He's the middle. He's not Jedi or Sith. He laughs at both, really. In the meantime, we get Governor Price, who looks a lot like Kate Blanchett's character.
Governor Price has been alluded to a lot throughout, because she's the governor for Lothal, which is where the first 2 seasons kind of took place.
Yes, she looks like Kate Blanchett's character in the Indiana Jones movie, the 4th movie, right? She looks a bit like her. She's got that black bob haircut, but she's requested help from the 7th Fleet, who happens to be led by the recently promoted Grand Admiral Thrawn, who, interesting. Now, you know this character from a lot of...
Yeah, he's quite a famous extended universe character, because he basically ran the Empire for the better part after the Emperor's death.
Okay, but none of that's canon, is it now?
No, Disney, when they bought Star Wars, they basically wiped all of that away. So, Thrawn wasn't a part of it until this.
No. Thrawn is a humanoid, but he's got like a bluey-green skin and red eyes.
He's a species... Well, this is maybe non-canon information, but his species is called Chiss.
I didn't know that.
They run their own, small empire just outside the known galaxy.
Okay, so Thrawn...
This is old universe information, but considering he's still a blue guy, I'm going to just assume that it's still canon. So.
Yeah, it's voiced by Lars Mikkelsen, who's a Danish actor. I wonder if he's related to Mads Mikkelsen, maybe. Anyway, so he's very smooth.
He's his older brother.
Oh, okay. He's got a very smooth voice, this guy, and he's kind of mostly completely in control, apart from the odd time he loses it, which isn't very often, but he sometimes does.
And it's always in small scale. It's always over very, minor things.
Yes.
But he quickly, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, and he apologises, Yeah. So talking to the Bendu helps Kanan realise that he's got to try and use his further powers. For example, not be frightened of the spiders. And when he's not frightened of the spiders, they don't bother him anymore. Stuff like that. The rescue goes on, and also Ezra leaves the holocron with the Bendu, doesn't he?
No, Kanan takes it off him, and Kanan leaves it with the Bendu.
Sorry, Kanan leaves it with the Bendu. They get a few of the fighters, don't they? But they actually, there's a bit where the Phantom, which is the smaller craft that they use, gets destroyed because it's kind of limping on the side of this base that gets blown up, and it falls off, doesn't it? Really, without any pilot or anything in. So, luckily, the Ghost arrives there in time just to save Ezra. There's a bit. Thrawn at first thinks they're dealing with quite a lot of rebels, but realises there's only a few. But they managed to get away.
Yeah.
They managed to get away. In fact, he allows them to escape, doesn't he? Because he realises they might actually lead them to the bigger fleet. So there is that. So the Y-wings get delivered.
Delivered to General Dodonna, who's known from from New Hope. So.
He's the one with the beard, isn't he? Is that the one? Yeah.
He's the one with the big beard. He's the one that originally says, "May the Force be with you." So.
Oh, okay, cool. So they what happens then? They kind of find out. Then we get some stuff with Maul, don't we?
Yeah, Maul attacks a rebel ship and uses it as an opportunity to lure the crew in because he knows that they have 2 holocrons.
Yeah.
So
he wants the Sith and Jedi holocrons. He makes them commit to both, but he knows also he's wise enough to know the Jedi one is already on the ship somewhere. So he kind of finds it, and he threatens the rest of the crew unless they give him the holocron. So Kanan has to go back to the Bendu to get it, and they do basically
they do their own little version of the cave trial from Empire Strikes
Back, right? Where Ezra has to go into a cave, and it's infested with the spiders. But Kanan,
I kind of prefer Kanan's approach to Yoda's. That he just takes away Ezra's lightsaber. It's like, you won't need it, so I'm going to take this off you, because if I leave it with you, you're just going to cause trouble.
Yeah,
so
it's quite right as well.
And even when he follows in afterwards, he leaves his lightsaber with the Bendu. He leaves both the lightsabers with the Bendu. So.
Yeah. There's also a point where the Bender warns that if the holocrons are combined, the Jedi and Sith holocrons, they will give whoever uses them immense knowledge or knowledge about the one thing they seek knowledge about. But they meet up with Maul. They combine them. They combine them. Ezra gets what he's after. Is it? Sorry, is it Ezra or Kanan?
Ezra's after. What are you? Ezra's looking for someone to defeat the Empire.
Yeah,
and it's first not clear who Maul's looking for or what Maul's looking for, but it becomes very obvious that it's he runs off muttering "he lives," and Ezra's muttering about twin sons.
Twin sons.
So you can kind of put him together that that Ezra's kind of seen Luke, and Maul's kind of seen Kenobi.
Yeah. So I should mention we're going to have spoilers throughout this, but a bit late now. But never mind.
It's 4 years old.
Yeah. So they kind of both lead into the same spot, even though they've asked different questions, right? They're kind of getting there. Okay, so there is that. The fourth. Sorry, have I jumped a few? No, that's the second episode. The fourth episode is the Antilles extraction. Where basically the rebellion's suffering heavy casualties because of Imperial ambushes on convoys.
Yeah, because Thrawn's that good.
Yeah.
You can just twig on whenever people are gonna be going through places, and he knows. He's basically just learned all their moves, and so he's just working around them.
Yeah, and the new Fulcrum contacts them. Now, Fulcrum, at first Ezra says, is that Ahsoka? But they said, no, it can't be Ahsoka. It must be, there's lots of Fulcrums, is the implication.
Yeah. They flat out say Fulcrum is just like the name of the network.
Yeah.
The spy network.
Yeah.
So everyone's just Fulcrum. A couple of characters in the movies, not extended stuff, but they do these occasional trivia things about characters, and a couple of the characters in Rogue One are Fulcrum agents, and they didn't know each other was a Fulcrum agent. So.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
So, Fulcrum tells them there's some of the trainees in the academy are willing to defect. One of them is Wedge Antilles, so we get kind of that incursion into this bit of Star Wars, right? So Sabine goes in, doesn't she? Becomes a trainee, in effect.
Yeah, because she's the one that was an Imperial Academy student, so she knows the ways best, pretty much. So
Meanwhile, the Price and Agent Kallus, the guy that Zeb had to live in a cave with for a bit, right?
Yeah.
Arrives at the academy because they think there might be defectors. Sabine realizes Wedge Antilles is one of them, and says they'll be able to get any of them out if they want to leave. But Price organises a trap by arranging a sort of a training flight, doesn't she? So they find out that it's a trap, and their fight has been sabotaged, and some of them get captured. One of them gets killed.
It was quite brutal, because these characters were, I'm guessing, about 15, 16.
Yeah.
So it's kind of odd for Disney to be willing to show that happening. So.
Meanwhile, Price manages to trap Sabine. Sabine kicks the crap out of her. Kind of leaves.
Yeah.
And she frees Wedge and Hobby. Is it Hobby?
Hob. Yeah.
Kallus secretly assists. Which surprises Sabine. But Sabine and Wedge manage to get a TIE bomber and escape. And return to the
There is a quite funny bit, which it kind of tells you just how important the named characters in Star Wars actually are. Where they're walking up, it's like, this is Wedge Antilles and Hobby. It's really funny.
Yeah, you get the idea. Idea.
She forgets his name completely. So
right, the next episode here, it's called Hera's Heroes. they're making a supply run to Resistance on Ryloth, right? And they find out that the Imperials have started to sort of take control, right? And so this is important to Hera because
that's where she's from.
That's where
Twilight.
she's from, and they've also they kind of, isn't the governor or one of the senior Imperials taken over her own house?
Because her father is a character in the Clone Wars.
Okay,
Cham Syndulla.
Yeah,
and he was like, because he was a big figure in the Resistance to the droids. He's now a big figure in the Resistance to the Empire.
right.
So it's just kind of transferred.
Yes.
So they've basically taken her house as a symbol of their superiority over him. And then
also in his office, he's got this like a fetish, isn't it? It's called the Calicori, which is an important family heirloom.
It's like a totem sort of thing. Each generation like adds on to it. So you just do that.
And Hera wants it, right? Hera wants it. But Thrawn's like outthinks everyone, doesn't he? He's kind of ahead of everyone and realizes what's going on. And he says that he wants the Calicori for himself. So he makes a deal with Cham that if he spares Hera and Ezra.
Well, no, he doesn't really want the Calicori for himself. He's just more doing it to show off.
Yes,
he's like, this is worthless to anyone outside the family and priceless to anyone that's in it.
That's right, because Hera's acting as like a servant, isn't she?
Yeah, she even puts on the sort of French accent that Twilight have in this.
Yeah,
and it's kind of funny. It's like, please, sir, I would do nothing.
Yes, that weird old racism Star Wars has sometimes. Not racism, but
sometimes.
Yeah, all right, okay. So she, in the middle of the transaction, Hera actually plants bombs all over her own house and blows it up to escape.
Yeah.
Right? Thrawn is kind of okay. He's impressed a bit, but he again lets them escape.
Yeah. Well, his gimmick is, and this has been like his stated thing from the very first trailer he was in, which was to defeat your enemy, you gotta know them. Yeah. And we later see he has his office is just covered in like memorabilia of all the characters. There's a big stained glass window thing. I think it's stained glass window.
Yeah.
From Hera's home that he just takes. He just puts that in his office.
And in fact, Hera's a little girl in the stained glass window, isn't she?
Yeah.
It's
a little bit creepy.
Yeah, it is a bit. So this next episode is a bit of a goofy side one. It's basically they meet up with Captain Rex and they go to an old Clone Wars battlefield on a salvage missile. And a load of old battle droids turn up, and it turns out a super tactical droid called General Kalani.
Not just any super tactical droid. We have seen this individual before.
Have we?
In the Clone Wars.
Okay.
It was actually the episode where the character who will come up later, Saw Gerrera.
Okay.
Do you remember the episode that he was in?
No.
Okay, so Saw was like a freedom fighter on a planet that had been basically enslaved by its king to work for the Separatists. And Dooku lent Kalani to the king to work as his like tactician.
Oh, so Kalani was a minion of Dooku.
Yeah, a direct minion of Dooku. And when like the fight turned against them, Kalani just turned around and shot the king. And then walked off. Because that was the best thing to do in the situation. Yeah. So he just left. So that's Kalani in a nutshell.
That's Kalani. Anyway, he's in charge of all these droids on this planet, and he basically sends his droids against Rex and the two Jedis. By the way, Ezra and Kanan have made up all about the holocron. That was really not much of an issue in the end. It looked like it was going to be a running thing in the first few episodes, but it really wasn't. Or certainly not for some time. So basically, Rex, the Jedis, and so on have to fight these droids, but they kind of beat them, don't they? Meanwhile, Chopper sneaks off and sends a distress to Hera and Sabine. And so there's all that. Anyway, the droids and the Jedis kind of make up because the Empire start attacking them, right?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of to be expected because Kalani, as I've said, he's quite a brutal, he's a brutal pragmatist. So Ezra kind of talks him down.
Yeah.
It's like, so who actually won the Clone Wars? It's like, it wasn't the Republic because they're not around. And it wasn't the Separatists because they were not around. It was the Empire. The Empire took over from the Republic. So,
and you hate the Republic, therefore you should help us fight the Empire. Yeah.
Yeah.
You were sold, right? Yeah. So, yeah, it was kind of interesting. There's also some music. Is there some music from Clone Wars?
The credits, instead of being the standard sort of Rebels, like, title crawl and then that's it. It's like the sort of slamming drums version of the main Star Wars theme from Clone Wars.
Yeah. Yeah, so not a bad one, but a bit of a side one, wasn't it, really? Now, the next one is called Imperial Super Commandos, and you're going to have to bear with me. I really can't remember this one. Do you want to talk us through it a bit?
Yeah, the Imperial Super Commandos, but kind of loops back to a episode from the last season with Fen Rao, a Mandalorian from the faction known as the Protectors, the rivals to the Death Watch, which is what Sabine was part of.
Yeah.
Now, Fen Rao has been kind of held as hostage since he got caught last time, so that they can get free travel through Protector space.
Yeah.
But contact has been lost with the Protectors, so they send Sabine and Ezra there with Rao just to see what's going on. And it turns out that these super commandos, led by a guy called Gar Saxon, super commandos are Mandalorians that work for the Empire.
Okay.
So they're like badass on top of terrible shots, I guess.
Yeah.
They're just badass. But actually, they are kind of terrible shots, comes to think of it.
Yeah.
Maybe the Empire just does that to you.
Maybe the guns are just bad. Maybe that's it. Anyway, yeah, go on.
Yeah.
So it does end up with a big fight, but hand to hand, right?
Jetpack chase.
Oh yeah, that was cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
really like this. And they're like blowing people out of the sky. You know, there's all sorts going on. Because Mandalorian's a badass, right? So there's all that. And doesn't then Sabine have a hand to hand with Gar as well?
Yeah. And is able to like beat him in a fight, and then they just sort of fly away.
Yeah. So Fenn's impressed by her, impressed by all this and her loyalty to the rebellion, and he decides he's going to join the rebellion.
Yeah, he's going to throw his lot in with them because there's no more Protectors. They've been wiped out by the Super Commandos.
Yeah.
So might as well.
Yeah. So. The next episode is it's called Iron Squadron. Basically, the Ghost is helping to evacuate this anti-Imperials from a planet, and an armed freighter turns up called Iron Squadron, who kind of sort of assists. And then Commander Sato realizes the Iron Squadron is led by his younger brother. Is it younger brother? Younger brother.
It's led by his son. So.
His son, my mistake.
His nephew.
Oh, he used to be his brother, but now it's his nephew.
Yeah, it was his brother.
That's right.
It's his nephew.
Because he was quite young. So Mart is his name.
Yeah.
So Ezra and Sabine go on to the Iron Squadron ship and they meet the guys, but they're kind of young and brash, aren't they?
Yeah. It's kind of a comedy-ish episode of like escalating misunderstandings. It's like, oh man, we're gonna fight a Star Destroyer. That's not a Star Destroyer. It's a troop carrier.
Yeah. They don't understand.
Now we're going to fight a Star Destroyer. It's like, that's not a Star Destroyer. That's just a Raider. You don't want to fight those to begin with.
Yeah.
And then a Star Destroyer actually shows up at the end. They're like, yeah, maybe we couldn't fight a Star Destroyer.
That's a Star Destroyer. So Thrawn finds out about this and sends a large force against them, and they have to kind of try and get away. Mart stays behind and tries to fight them, but gets disabled. But they go back to rescue him, and they just about get away. And the guys in the Iron Squadron decide they're going to become rebels too. It's kind of cool. I like this one. It was kind of good.
There's also some funny stuff with Chopper, like, keeps assaulting the droid that works for the Iron Squadron.
There's always funny stuff with Chopper. He's just a violent, angry little droid, and he's kind of funny.
The guys that made it have said that they carried in. If R2-D2 was like a loyal dog, Chopper is an angry house cat that thinks that he's a tiger.
I was going to say he's almost like a bitter, angry, rubbish yard dog. Do you know what I mean? One of those angry dogs. But an angry house cat is about right, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so the next one, episode 9, is the Win
Carthu job.
The Win Carthu job. Again, Hondo. They never learn, do they?
This episode is about him learning. So.
Yeah, Hondo says there's a shipment of proton bombs which they can use. Right, they can use. Is on an abandoned Imperial ship, but it's near to a storm, and the salvage is kind of a mess. I'm trying to think what else.
It's basically falling into a gas giant, and once it gets past a certain point, they're not going to be able to recover them. So Hondo and his new associate, who is it? Oh, they've got the other guy.
AP5.
No, AP5's the droid that helps them. I'm thinking the other sort of crime boss that's working.
No. I can't remember. No.
Yeah, they've got another crime boss who was in a previous episode. What's his name? It's As Morrigan. That's his name.
Okay.
Yeah. And basically, it's kind of those two having comedy argument shenanigans about how they deserve the treasure and yada yada yada, and the rest is kind of an Aliens film, except there's Terminators. Sounds weird. Yeah. There's robots. There's like sentry robots walking around the ship, and none of the crew can kind of tell where they are, and they're kind of trying to fight them in the meanwhile. So it's kind of a weird episode. So.
Yeah, it's very odd. It's all right though.
It's a fun one, and it's a good like allusion back to the old Dark Trooper stuff that used to be in it. So like the Jedi Knight Dark Forces, the original one of those.
Wow, you are going back in there with this one, Dark Forces. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I kind of liked it. It was a race against time, kind of, and it with the clock ticking is always fun. Okay, number 10 was called An Inside Man, where this one, Ezra and Kanan are involved. They go back to Lothal, don't they, to look for a factory, maybe to destroy it. They get in the factory disguised as workers, but Thrawn's there, isn't he? And decides to lock it down. He suspects there's spies around. However, Ezra and Kanan and Chopper, which is a pretty cool team, with some help from Kallus, who we find out at this point is Fulcrum.
Sort of people had figured that out from the first trailer for this.
Yeah,
which is like mental to me. They'd figured out that it was just Kallus's voice manipulated, right? So they just sort of unmanipulated it, and they were just like, "Yeah, it's Kallus. You can hear it's clearly Kallus."
Yeah, I see. Some people. So what happens then? They basically get away, right?
There's a pretty funny bit with where they break out in an AT-ST and Thrawn deploys a couple of AT-ATs after them, and they're basically running around the legs of the AT-AT just because. An AT-AT is such an inconvenient design. It looks cool, but it's such an inconvenient design.
Yeah, it's not a good design for close combat kind of stuff at all. Right, anything like that, right? So,
but we do get introduced to the new starfighter that Thrawn's making, the TIE Defender, which is also from old canon.
Yeah. So but from this, Thrawn deduces there's an insider, right?
Yeah.
So he's looking for an insider now. So he's kind of on the case. He kind of knows what's going on. So there is that. Right, the next one is Visions and Voices. Now, this one's kind of a darker one. Ezra starts seeing Maul all over the place, doesn't he? He just starts getting visions of Maul. So something's going on, and it appears maybe Maul's messing with him.
Yeah.
So they go talk to the... Kanan takes him to talk to the Bendu, doesn't he?
But they find Maul instead.
Yeah. Who says he'll reveal the base... the rebel base to the Empire unless Ezra comes with him to complete a ritual, so both of them can get the final information they need. So they go to the planet of the Force Witches, don't they?
Dathomir, which has been in Clone Wars again, and it's from what I can tell, it's the same model.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it looks very similar. So basically, they complete their vision, and they see a desert planet with two suns, and what they both seek is on the same planet. However, the spirits of the Night Sisters, the Force Witches, kind of start attacking and trying to possess them.
The Force power that they use has a payment. So
is that it?
That's the thing. To use the witch's power, you got to give the witches your bodies.
Yeah.
Which isn't as dirty as it sounds, but they're still possessing you.
Kanan and Sabine basically track them to the planet and turn up. But it's those that are possessed by the Night Sisters, right?
Yeah.
Who then attack Ezra and Maul. Maul just runs off.
Maul runs off. Ezra steals the Darksaber, which was a big thing in the Clone Wars, and is now in Mandalorian.
Yes, the Darksaber turns up. And Ezra uses the Force to push Sabine outside the Ring of Power, where these witches can possess them.
The witches only have a certain radius outside of this altar that they perform the ritual at.
Yeah.
So as long as they're further away from it, they can't do anything. So
that's right. Now Ezra goes back and says, "Please, if you free Kanan, you can have me." But when they free Kanan, he
he smashes the altar.
Completely, so they manage to get away. But this means Sabine gets the Darksaber. Darksaber is very important in Mandalorian culture, isn't it? The ruler of Mandalore wielded the Darksaber. Maul did, in fact, when he ruled Mandalore, didn't he?
Yeah, they have a brief little lore thing on it in the next episode where they explain that it was the first Mandalorian Jedi who made it and wielded it, and when the Jedi and Mandalorians went to war, the Mandalorians sacked the Jedi Temple to get it back. That's how important it was to them.
Yeah, that is very important. And we also find out that both Maul and Ezra have the same person they're focusing on, which is Obi-Wan Kenobi. So we find out stuff from there. Okay, the next one is a two-parter called Ghost of Geonosis, where basically they go to Saw Gerrera, who's played by
Saw Gerrera,
Gerrera, okay. Voiced by Forrest Whitaker, and his character does appear in Force One. Rogue One. And so it's a younger looking version of Forrest Whitaker. In fact, I said to you, he looks like Forrest Whitaker. And you said, yeah, that's because he is. So the ghosts, and basically this rebel squad missing on Geonosis, and the ghost crew go there to find out what's happened with him. Rex is with them, and they kind of start looking around. There's a shield generator there, and Sabine and Zeb start working on this shield generator. And basically there's a group of battle droids again. And
I think they were just proud of the models they made. They're like, we got to get some more use out of this other than that one.
Yeah, that's right.
So so Geonosian is as it turns out, running around the caves after them,
and they're Saw doesn't trust the Geonosian, treats it horribly, and Ezra's saying, leave him alone, kind of stuff. And it turns out he's trying to protect this queen egg of Geonosian.
Yeah, but he keeps drawing these a circle within a circle,
which looks like the Death Star to me.
Yeah, that's a lot of there's a lot of layers to this, where they ask what happened, and he draws the circle within a circle, because the Geonosians made the Death Star.
I didn't realise that.
In episode 2, there's a bit where there's ruler Geonosian, I can't remember his name. Has a little hologram of the plans and is like, yeah, we can get on this.
Yeah.
And puts it away and gives it to Count Dooku.
Yeah.
And that's all the allusion to it in the films. But and after they finished, the Emperor just purged the planet.
Because there's another reason he's drawing it in this. We find out later.
Yeah.
They call it. They give him this Geonosian the name Click Clack because he makes a clicky, which is sounds a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So Saw's still angry at Click Clack and puts him in handcuffs because he keeps trying to run away and stuff like that. It turns out that Rex explains that Saw's sister was killed by a Geonosian gunship during the Clone Wars. There was an episode in the Clone Wars about these two when they were younger, right?
Yeah, it was the same episode with Kalani.
Okay, so we did see that in Clone Wars, so it harks back to that. Meanwhile, an Imperial patrol detects stuff's going on in Geonosis, and they send a scout down. The rebels kind of going underground to keep out of the way. And they keep going down. Basically, they fly the ship down into a hole, don't they?
Yeah, they've got these big, like, vertical boreholes.
Yeah.
Or, like, vents or something. And they just have to, like, lower the ship down slowly. And when the Empire shows up, because of course they do, they start dropping super commandos down. So they've got jetpacks, and they're, like, hopping from these platform to platform down after them.
Yeah.
And shooting down. So you get a pretty cool action sequence where... like Rex, Saw, Ezra, and Sabine are like all on top of the ship shooting.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff. I really like this one actually. The more I think of it, the more I like it. They basically they find loads of containers full of poison gas that the Imperials have been using to
purge the planet.
They basically wanted to destroy the Geonosians. And Saw realises they're not necessarily the enemy, and he lets Click Clack go with the egg, and Click Clack runs into the tunnels. They want the gas containers as proof of the Empire's atrocities, as if you need any proof about what the Empire gets into. But they lose them. Which is a shame, because Bail Organa reckons that with those containers there'd be enough proof that the Senate can act, but we all know that's
it's a written off thing.
But there are pictures apparently, so
but I think they flat out say like the Emperor's just like writing this off. He's not like
he's not bothered. Okay, the next one is called Warhead. Now we get a Zeb episode, which is nice. I was complaining some way through it that there wasn't enough Zeb going on, but it's Zeb, Chopper, and AP5, the annoying. But basically, like you say, Chopper's kind of an alternative version of R2D2, and AP5 definitely feels like an even worse version, a prissy, pompous version of C-3PO.
It's C-3PO crossed with Marvin the paranoid android.
There's a bit of that too, and it's very pompous and stuck up. There's a touch of Alan Rickman in the voice work as well, definitely, along those lines. Anyway, they get their own little mission. They go to. Hold on.
No. They're in security. They get
right.
left behind, basically. Zeb gets left in charge of security, and AP5 and Chopper are doing inventory. But at the same time, these infiltrator droids shows up.
But it doesn't understand its mission, does it? Something's happened.
No. It gets kind of Iron Gianted. It gets a knock on the head and forgets what it's doing.
Yeah.
And it just sort of wanders in because it's got like an infiltration mode, which just sort of looks like a protocol droid. So like C-3PO or AP5.
So it wanders in. Now AP5 takes to it because it's another protocol drive and follows instructions. Meanwhile, Zeb gets a note from, I think, Fulcrum to explain, watch out for these particular droids. And he's going, oh no. But doesn't it get activated as soon as Zeb starts to attack?
Zeb runs around and is like, don't like do anything with it. Just step away from it. We need to get it out of this rebel base. And the thing goes, rebel base? And then it activates.
Yeah, so they have a big fight between the three of them with this robot thing.
And they basically, it ends up being like a full they end up needing to all their skills to beat it, sort of thing. So like
all between them, they have to work
Zeb
together.
has to muscle it down. Chopper just sort of like plays distraction.
Oh no,
he shocks it, and AP5 has to like.
Doesn't he shock it?
No. He like turns it off. He like rewires it.
Okay, but it's already set up a self-destruct bomb when they turn it off, right? And
so
they put it in its ship and send it on its way, hoping it
Yeah.
doesn't remember. But when the Imperials pick it up,
They turn it on,
turn
and
it
the bomb
on.
activates and just blows up the ship.
and Falkland
incredible.
contacts them saying, "Really good work. Whoever thought this one
Yeah.
up is really smart." And Seb's like, "We got some explaining to do."
Yeah.
However, it doesn't enable Thrawn to narrow his search. He knows where that infiltrated droid has been, which makes his search be much more...
No, he's like, okay, so we only sent infiltrator droids to these places.
Yeah. So he's got some clues, right?
Yeah.
Number 15's... oh, man, it starts getting really good now. It really does. It really steps up. It's called Trials of the Darksaber. So there's a bit of an explanation of the nature of the Darksaber and the various house on Mandalore. And Kanan sort of suggests that Sabine should wield the Darksaber as a symbol to rally the Mandalorians to join the rebels. Sabine's not convinced, and there's quite a bit of training, isn't there? There's all this kind of stuff going on. Ezra takes her for her paces. Sabine gets really annoyed and can't deal with it.
Yeah, she is not happy because she's like getting a real hands-off teaching, and not very good teaching from Kanan.
They're not giving her the Darksaber. They're using sticks, and they're sort of going through the issues. But they're slowly getting together. But in the end, Hera says, you've got to give her the Darksaber if you want to make her understand how important it is. And he kind of does. And then training begins properly, right?
Yeah. He's full on, like, he's just flat out mean at some points. He's like, what are you, just running from stuff? Come on, you got to get back to it. You got to step up and, like, lead your people. She's like, you don't understand how badly.
Yeah, there's. I mean, she's got some guilt about some stuff she did. Where she
she designed a weapon that was counter Mandalorian. So she basically helped the Empire completely subjugate her people.
Yeah.
So.
And it's quite a good scene at the end where basically she's standing there talking about, I can't do this alone or something like that. Kanan kneels before her and says, I am loyal to you, and so does Ezra. And it's kind of cool, right? Whatever she does. I really like that. I thought that was good.
And we get a cool bit where she also gets some Mandalorian gauntlets, where so she's got like little shields, repulsor blasters.
And she uses them very effectively, doesn't she?
She's got like an energy whip that she uses to like grab the lightsaber back.
Yeah, and she tries to use them on Kanan, who says, your tricks will not save you. Remember, the Jedis beat the Mandalorian. All that. The tricks will only last for so long. Yeah. Training is what saves you, and stuff like that. Anyway, next one is called Legacy of Mandalore, where Sabine and some of the guys go back to Mandalore, don't they?
No, they don't. They don't go to Mandalore. They go to the Ren homeworld of I can't remember where it was.
Is it Crow
Nest?
Crow Nest.
Yeah, the Ren family in Crow Nest.
Right, it's very Game of Thrones, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ren family and Crow Nest. Yeah, I see. She's a different Ren from Kylo Ren, by the way. It's spelled differently.
Wien.
Yeah. So. Basically, she turns up and her mother's fairly hostile. Basically, she meets her brother, and who's kind of missed her, and there's a bit where they're training together, and the mother's kind of hostile, but she says, well, I've come this way, will you hear me out, kind of stuff. And she shows them the Darksaber. So she gets a personal she explains the only way they're surviving is to live under the Empire. And they've got is it her father hostage as well?
Yeah, her father is like almost a literal hostage. So he is being hosted at Mandalore, and is basically, if the Wrens do anything, he's into prison and he's going to be executed.
Yeah, and she basically makes a deal with the guy that's currently in charge of Mandalore.
Gar Saxon,
on behalf of the Empire. He was a Mandalorian himself, Gar Saxon.
Yeah, he was in the Super Commandos episode.
Yeah, so. And the deal is, let my daughter live and you can have the rest. However, he turns into, you're shielding rebel scum, you are a traitor and all this. Turns into a big fight, which he really picked his, don't pick on a Mandalorian on their own
Let's
house.
Walk into a Mandalorian's house while they're being helped by Jedi.
And start a fight. Yeah, that doesn't work.
And also being, with one of the most hardcore Mandalorians ever, Fen Rao. So
they basically Sabine gets the Darksaber out, right?
Yeah,
and starts fighting with Saxon and wins.
Well, no, Sabine gives the Darksaber to her mother, who gives it to Saxon as a sort of here's the thing, we're gonna sort our own business out, and he's like, oh no, I'm having the lot of yours. Yeah, so he's got the Darksaber, and Ezra gives her his lightsaber. Yeah. So she fights Saxon with and cuts his arm off, in a really brutal shot.
Yeah, really very Star Warsy. And in the end, she doesn't. She goes, she's got him, dead to bang to rights. She can kill him, and she says, it may be the Mandalore way, but it's not my way. She just turns away and walks away. But then he kind of goes for her, and her mother shoots him. Which is a lovely bonding exercise between mother and daughter. Which is kind of cool. And then they realise what Chaos Mandalore's going to happen. Be now that Saxon is dead, there's going to be civil war. Sabine elects to stay, doesn't she? And there's also a cool moment with the brother. The Saxon offers the brother, join me against your family and you can rule by my side. And the brother elects to stay with his family, which is quite cool. I like that. I thought he was going to be more of a character as the follow-ups, but not in this series anyway. Okay, number 17 is called Through Imperial Eyes. This one, we have Ezra... Hold on. Imperial light cruiser intercepts a shuttle fleeing a planet, and on board are Ezra disguised as a bounty hunter and the two droids. So Kallus is there. Ezra's there to sort of tell Kallus that they kind of think the Empire knows. Thrawn knows he's the traitor. That's why they're there, right? That's why they're there.
Yeah.
Anyway, Thrawn arrives and starts talking about locating the spy. Kallus swaps some stuff to make someone else look guilty, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's kind of a cool long con where he swaps their identification pencil. It's it looks like a pencil, and they just sort of put it into notches, and that's their key card sort of thing.
Yeah.
But he swaps them, and then he starts using it while he almost casually while he's doing stuff that looks sketchy.
Yeah.
Right. So such as breaking Ezra out of prison, and then he tells the guy that they think that Price is the traitor.
That's right. So it's like a big old con of it's now.
So when Price tries to stop the rebels getting away, the guy he's setting up attacks her.
Yeah.
And also Ezra gets a disguise as a lieutenant, and he starts going by list briefly.
Yeah.
So they pretend that he's also just been doing stuff. So on the cameras, it also looks like List has been.
Now, given all this cover now around Fulcrum, Kallus decides to stay. He thinks he can do a better job just staying. He believes he's got protection now because they think they've flushed out the traitor and it's List, right? But we say at the end.
Oh, and they also get in Wolf Yularen, who was a character in Clone Wars and is also in A New Hope in that one boardroom scene where Vader chokes the guy out.
Yeah, he's around. But we find out at the end Thrawn actually does know it's Kallus already.
Yeah,
he's using it.
And he does it quite to the point, with this guy who's the head of the Imperial Security Bureau. Yeah, and he's they're both so it's Kallus then, and he's it's disappointing, but it's Kallus almost definitely.
Yeah. So he knows the game, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
The next one is called number 18, Secret Cargo. They're basically the ghosts waiting at a rendezvous point, which it's there to refuel a rebel ship carrying a secret cargo. But they're found by an infiltrated droid. They managed to destroy it, but it's transmitted location. It turns out. Say what? What did I say?
You said proidrobe.
Probe droid, sorry. Not a probe, is it?
Yeah.
It turns out the secret cargo is Mon Mothma. Mon Mothma.
The episode opens with her announcing that she's basically going away to join. She's leaving the Senate to help the rebellion.
Oh, and she slags off the Emperor big time too.
Yeah,
and accuses
to
him
his face.
And everyone's kind of looking at each other.
The crowd's like, "Wow, she's dead. She's so dead. Whoever's they do a thing where it's like, man, whoever helps her is going to be in deep shit." And then they rock up and she's there, and they're like, "Oh boy."
As they're sort of getting her on the board, Imperial cruisers rock up, and there's a big old TIE fighter fight, right? As they manage to escape on the Ghost.
This whole episode's kind of like it's kind of like a World War II RAF film, almost.
Yes.
Like Garden, like Dam Busters, almost.
Kind of. It's very cool.
Such, it's like they have to guard the precious carry to get it through to where it needs to be, and they got fighters and bombers. So.
Yeah, and there's new prototype TIE.
Yeah, the TIE Defender comes into it, and it's terrifying. So
Hera Fly manages to. Do they work out that these new things overheat more easily than their ship?
They just fly into a sun at one point.
And
the TIE has
blow up.
The TIEs, they don't blow up. They just aren't as resistant to the heat, so the pilots pull away.
Oh, okay.
But Hera's guards aren't resistant to the heat either, so they've got to pull off too. Yeah. So she just has to fly through the sun alone.
So there's plenty going on. The TIE Defenders survives a bit though, doesn't it? If I remember.
Yeah, it's quite a bit stronger than the fighters that are with it, and we get a cool bit where they end up shooting this forming sun to blow up 2 Star Destroyers.
Yeah, they fire missiles into the nebula that's forming, right? To ignite it.
We get this kind of cool moment at the end of the episode where Mon Mothma announces we're forming an alliance. We need to get everyone together to do it. Are you with me? And there's a moment where they're just sitting in space alone, and you start to hear people arriving by hyperspace.
Yeah, and then a load arrive. Not many compared to the Empire, but a fair number of ships arrive. So
this is the fleet.
So it's the start of the rebellion proper. That's what we're getting at. Number 19 is called Double Agent Droid. Here we go. This is Chopper, AP5 and Wedge get sent on a mission. Now Wedge has to put up with his 2 bickering robots. I feel a bit sorry for him, really. And AP5 keeps going on about how his decision making has made the mission a success and all this stuff. They're stealing codes, aren't they? But all this fussiness and Chopper kind of alerts something's up, if I remember rightly. And they implant a sort of a program in Chopper to take control of him.
They hack Chopper.
Chopper then starts locking everyone out in the crew, into cells, and even opens a vent so they get sucked into space, which is kind of brutal, but they manage to get around that. And they realise something's up because Chopper's acting nice. They think something's wrong. AP5 is very suspicious.
Yeah, but because AP5 and Chopper have been arguing, they're they're just doing a thing. Chopper's just messing with him. So
and Hera is suspicious too. And she has this on. Does she have this phrase she keeps using in this episode? No one messes with my droid, or something like that. And essentially, they hack Chopper. Chopper starts taking control. They manage to get back in. And they use Chopper against the guy that's trying to hack them. And they
basically just put a power surge through Chopper. They just plug him directly into the engines and charge it up.
And that by Wi-Fi or whatever it is, causes a power surge in the place that's in control. And you can tell that bloke's going to die.
Yeah, I mean, his eyes, he like starts screaming, his eyes go white, and then the entire ship blows up.
Oh, yeah, that happens before then, yeah. So Chopper kind of cools down and then immediately starts arguing with AP5, so we know everything's all right. Yeah. And the Era says, yep, don't mess with a droid. Okay. Right, episode 20, Twin Sons. Wow, Obi-Wan Kenobi turns up, right?
Yeah.
So Ezra basically says we got to go to Tatooine because Maul is heading there to kill Obi-Wan Kenobi, but they don't kind of believe it. They think Kenobi's not alive and it's just a Maul trap. Ezra and Chopper sneak there. But really, Tasker Raiders take out their ship completely.
Yeah, they steal an A-wing to do it, and then it gets just smashed. So
yeah, the episode starts weird. It starts with Maul walking through the desert as if he's about to die and talking to himself.
Yeah, and you can see like the outline of a person.
Anyway, but basically it's a trap. They're being set on a goose chase by Maul, who's following them to find Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's what it's there for. So Kenobi has recovered Ezra and Chopper. And Ezra Maul's after him and asks Obi-Wan if he can help the rebellion. Kenobi won't do it. He says he's no intention of fighting Maul, but unfortunately it's going to have to happen.
I do quite like this more spacey Obi-Wan. Like
he's got
come around
to fry, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's not even that. It's just like he's so. It's like how different Yoda is from like the prequels to Empire, where he's like spacey and spiritual. Like he just seems so much more in touch with the Force.
Yeah.
He's just I don't care. So
yeah.
He's like, Maul's like, do you know how many kill? Yeah. Maul's like, do you know how many people I killed to get here? Do you know how badly I'm going to kill you? And Kenobi's just like, do you really want to be measuring your time left by how many people you can kill? Yeah. And that's really winding him up. So
Kenobi's like, you've got everything you need, you don't need me. So Maul finds them. Kenobi sends Ezra away and basically kicks Maul's ass. Yeah. Absolutely.
3 strikes the entire fight. He even there's a bit where Maul, like the end of the fight is Maul tries the same like bash in his head that he did with Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah.
And Kenobi just like slashes his lightsaber in half and like kills him.
And him.
That's it. Like, it's like that's it. That's all you need. You didn't need some big flashy thing. It's an argument about like it's a character driven thing, not like just a fight.
Yeah. So Maul actually says, asks him something about what are you here for some bigger reason or something like that. I can't remember exactly his words. And he says, I'm here to watch over the chosen one. So Ezra and Chopper leave, and Ezra tells them that Maul's gone, and we see Kenobi watching a young Luke Skywalker from a distance.
Yeah.
And we even hear Aunt Beru calling Luke.
Yeah, and it ends with Binary Sunset, the Force theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's some proper Star Wars music in this one.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, so great episode, fantastic episode. And then we get to the final episode, which is even more kick-ass. Basically, the rebels have been hunted down by Thrall, right? And they've got them trapped. They've got, what do they call it? An interceptor that disallows hyperspace.
Yeah, interdictor.
Interdictor, that's it. They've got them pinned down. Mon Mothma's there, but they can't escape through hyperspace. They're grossly outnumbered and outgunned, but all they can do is kind of do a bit of fighting on the surface, and in the end retreat to the planet's surface, right? If I'm skipped anything, it's a massive battle. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's quite a protracted battle. There's a whole bit in space where they're fighting interdictors, and they General Sato crashes his carrier ship into one of the interdictors, which throws off the interdiction field, I think it's called.
Yeah.
So Ezra can escape and get the Mandalorians who come back and give support.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the rest of the fleet is forced to land. So Kanan runs and tries to get the Bendu. And the Bendu's just angry that they brought war to his planet. And he basically goes, well, if you're going to die anyway, maybe the Force should have let me kill you just now. Get it over with. And he turns into a storm?
He turns into a massive storm and starts basically crushing the Imperials. Basically, Kanan calls him a coward and it annoys him. And he even starts throwing electrical things at Kanan's ship too. He's kind of indiscriminate. He says, "Do you see me, Kanan?" and all this kind of stuff. But Thrawn's not phased. He's saying, "Right, concentrate your fire into that cloud." And I was thinking at this point, that's ridiculous. It's a cloud, but he is up there somewhere, isn't he? That's the thing.
Yeah,
they managed to bring him down. But even when they bring him down, he's kind of laughing at them.
Yeah, he laughs at them. And he goes, "You haven't seen it, have you?" And Thrawn's like, "What?" He goes, "Your death, wrapped by cold arms," and he just disappears. So,
well, Thrawn tries to shoot him in the head.
Yeah, and he just disappears between cuts.
And then you hear him laughing as well.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool. So this is a really cool one. There's a massive fight. It's proper Star Wars, massive fights and kind of mysticism thrown in. And spaceships ramming other spaceships. It was proper ramming speed sort of episode. Taking out an interdictor, and the Mandalorians turn up. So basically, there's all out war going on now. It would appear. Certainly, the rebels get away to fight another day, and and Thrawn is even more annoyed about everything, right?
Yeah.
And they rendezvous at Yavin 4, right? So we know Yavin 4, don't we? So Yavin 4 is where we know the rebels attack the Death Star from, right? So this is setting up quite a bit, I'd say.
Yeah.
So so that's pretty cool. So, excuse me. Kanan kind of says to Ezra at the end, maybe there'll be a future where everyone's free, stuff like that. Really cool series, this one. Really stepped up. I've quite liked the other two, but I think this one really starts delivering stuff quite important. I mean, there's a few filler episodes, but not many. And they're pretty good anyway. But this is really proper epic kind of stuff and really setting up the whole... I'm going to speculate on some future ones that might come into this. I know you've seen them, so don't say anything. But I suspect this somehow feeds into the Rogue One vibe at some point. But we'll see, right? We'll see when we get to it. We got one more season. Is that right, or is there? Yeah.
There's one more season.
Which
frustratingly, they did it as they did that stupid 2 half seasons things that some shows are doing now.
Right.
When they released it, I remember there was 3 or 4 months between 2 of the episodes. So
that's annoying. Oh yeah, you're right. Between episode 9 and episode 10.
You just stop looking at those.
I'm not reading the
now.
Notes. It's fine.
Just scroll back up.
Scroll
back up.
There was a 4-month gap. You're correct.
Yeah.
So yes, So I think we'll be rolling straight into this, and we'll be doing a season 4 episode soon. I think we'll see though. Right?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Oh, we've certainly got the time on our hands.
Yes, we've got time on our hands now.
Let's date this episode. We're in the middle of a lockdown.
Yes, we are.
So is everywhere, really.
Yeah. Well, I'll put these episodes out fairly quickly, so this will be still timely when this comes out. All right, then. Yeah. Okay, then. So let's wind up there. So bye from me.
Bye.